Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, do something a little different. We are going to take a look at some British comics. Before we do that, I'd like to give shout outs to some other YouTube channels that I like. This is Comics and Stuff. That's Comics N Stuff YouTube channel. So take a look at that channel and enjoy their content. And I also want to give a little reminder, my comics are available. My books, I have two of them right now. Right here, Bizarre Brain Comics Anthology. And over here, Bizarre Brain Comics present Heroes. The first has some humor and some adventure. This one is more regular mainstream, has some superhero stuff, some a little bit of weird science fiction, and some horror stuff. So check those out. They are available online from Amazon, on Barnes & Noble online bookstores, other online booksellers. So check that out. Okay, now British humor comics. Well, not necessarily all humor, just British comics, but British kids comics. And British kids comics are usually anthologies, typically published weekly, fortnightly. For Americans, that means every 2 weeks, or monthly. Okay, Dandy and Beano are the most popular British comics published by DC Thomson and Company Limited, and they started in the 30s. The circulation of each achieved 2 million weekly by 1950. That is huge. Some other British titles are such as Eagle, Valiant, Warrior, Viz, 2000 AD, which is where we know Judge Dredd from, and mentioned Eagle. That's had, if I remember correctly, I had Dan Dare, which I want to cover sometime here. And they were published in a tabloid format, as you can see here. Is paper, no glossy cover, and the cover is the first page, and it's all newsprint. And more recently, American comics and Japanese manga have become more popular in the UK. While Beano is still in publication, Dandy ceased publication in 2012. Okay. And the first one we're going to look at is Dandy. Dandy is a Scottish children's comic from DC Thomson in Dundee, which started in 1937 and ran to the final printed issue, regular weekly issue, was released in December of 2012. Then it's just to being only available online for another 6 months. Then the title continues as an annual summer special. So it's no longer a weekly title, making it the third longest running comic title in the world, right behind, see if I can pronounce this, Il Giornalino, which started in 24. It sounds Italian. And this one's easy to say. And the second longest running is Detective Comics from DC Comics, which started in 1937. I'll have to take a little look here at Dandy. Okay, this is Dandy number 2512 from January 1990. And they come out every Tuesdays. And it says, Dandy Day is Dandy. Dandy, fun for boys and girls. And the first one features Desperate Dan. And it's right there. That's what the cover is. It's cost 24p. Wonder what that would be in American money. Buck and a half, maybe? I don't know. And these were humor. They were told mostly in 1 or 2 page stories. Little stories. Of course, from the size and the number of panels, each page would be roughly equivalent to about 2 pages on a standard American humor comic. But here, so Dandy Dan said, "You're the best wrestler in the territory, Dan." "Well, I wrestled a grizzly," and shows that. "And I even survived a square dance with Calamity Jane. And that ain't easy. Choco Danny, the champion sumo wrestler, is in town, and he's challenged the local champion." So, Desperate Dan obviously looks like a Western. "He's just wearing his Y-fronts, tain't fitting." Of course, his undies. It looks like a diaper to us. Then sumo on the back page, because then they would do the first part of the story, of the thing on the front page, and have the concluding part on the back page. Continued from the front cover. "Are the flies bothering that big Baluka?" That's while he's slapping and stamping and throwing the rice around him. "Hey, watch where you're chucking that salt, buddy. Tarnation, he's chucked salt in my owl hoot juice. Steady on, pal." Starting. Boing, smack. "Gee willikers, Dan's turning the yellow fella back to front." So he hit him and his big belly pops out his back. "No varmint gets to assault my owl hoot juice." And then back home, "He ain't the only guy who can chuck salt around my mighty fine pie, Aunt Aggie." And it's called cow pie, so it's basically a beef pie, but it's a cute little play on words, cow pie. And of course, you get the meat pies, which is a common dish in UK. And of course, it's color on the cover, and they have some, but it's mostly black and white interior, with some color, some nice stuff, and some nice and interesting stylization. And I have to wonder if maybe Fred Hembeck might have got his stylization might not have been partially inspired by some of this the British cartoon stylization, because there's a certain resemblance, and they're mostly nutty things, mostly people, mostly kids, and/or animals getting doing naughty things. Mutt and Moggy, they're the best of friends. And that's cute. Dog and cat stuff. Cuddles and Dimples. 2 little naughty kids. Oh my gosh. The Jocks and the Geordies. See, just doing naughty things. And of course, always have ads. Spooky Wookie advertisement. One of the fiendish feet. Horribly delicious yogurts and desserts. It's funny. Right? And of course, house ads. And other things. Stamp collector kit. Stuff like we used to see in the comics here. And here's one I like. It's George and the Dragon. And it's definitely inspired by a Warner Brothers cartoon of Yosemite Sam, when he was playing a knight and had a dragon in it. Because he even looks like Yosemite Sam. Winker Watson. And it's just like silly definitely silly stuff. Woo! So this is 2512 from January 1990. More Dandy Dan. It's got Dinah Moe, and she's just such a naughty girl. Corky the cat. Tristan, the vicar's son. And of course, the vicar would be the village minister. Smasher. Oh, there's so many. The Jocks and the Geordies, which I showed before. Just people being naughty. People being naughty. Dandy. And this is the last of the dandy that I've got. This is 2514 from again from January 1990. Dandy Dan. I think this is this isn't the one. Is this the one? Well, there must be another one floating around somewhere because there's one. I might be thinking of a Beano. Has a back page torn out. Okay. Now, are you familiar with the comedy show Mr. Bean? Of course, it's British comedy, and it's just silly stuff being right along these lines. Starring Rowan Atkinson, and it's became very popular here on PBS. And there was one episode in which he was in the barbershop, and he was sitting there reading in the barbershop, waiting for his turn, reading an issue of Dandy. And that makes me think, then we go to Beano, the comic with Minnie the Minx. Every Thursday, and this is 20p, but this is from 1988, number 2406, from August 1988. But that thing with Beano makes me wonder, is it possible that Rowan Atkinson's character, Mr. Bean, was inspired by the comic Beano? Especially since and I think we saw him reading Dandy and or Beano elsewhere too, but that barbershop story is what I specifically remember. And here's Beano, of course, a British anthology comic from Scottish publisher D.C. Thomson, and it ran since 1938. And it published its 4,000th issue in 2019. And as far as I know, it's still in publication. And its main character here was Dennis the Menace and Gnasher. Now, this is not to be confused with the American comic strip of Dennis the Menace. Same name, completely different character. But he is a naughty kid doing naughty things. And of course, they also do the same thing here with the story starting on the front page and concluding on the last page. And again, color covers, mostly black and white interior with some, the Three Bears, this is cute. And it is primarily children, and here, Dennis the Menace and Gnasher. Gnasher is his dog, and his dog is just as naughty as he is. Could even have a strip in there of Gnasher and Nipper. Gnasher's a little pup, and they're just as naughty. And that's what mostly is, kids being naughty and creating havoc. But it's still a lot of fun. Number 13, Boris, Dad, Frankie, Mom, says, I'm practicing, that's Boris, I'm practicing with my yo-yo, watch this. It goes right through Frankie's head. Chuckle, good trick that. Now another trick, Bones, get him in the foot. Ha, sorry, Frankie. Come here, Boris. That'll keep you out of mischief, ties him all up. Says, I wonder. Boris makes an excellent yo-yo. Ooh, not funny, Frankie. That's funny. Gordon Gnome. Inspired by garden gnomes. Oh, it's funny. Smudge. They're all good, clean fun. And I forgot I was going to change my position to look at these, because you can probably see them better this way. Okay, this is October 1988. More of the same. This is the one that has the torn cover. That's it. The Gunge Game. Oh, that's an ad. It looks like part of this story. Billy Whiz, super fast kid here. Doing things. The Bash Street Kids. More fun silliness. From September 1988, 2408. More Dennis the Menace. More of the same. Oh, just being naughty. Naughty. Not such naughty people. Being so incredibly popular. 2433 from 1989. It's gone up to 22p. And then this one. Dodge reading this? No chance. It's Dodger. And they have little thing once in a while, sporty things. Dennis and Nasher. It's up to 24p. Okay, then we're going to have a little look at here. This Topper. Topper was another title. A British children's comics published by D.C. Thompson, starting in 1953, running to 1990, when it merged with The Beezer. And two other titles were previously merged with Topper, which is Buzz in 75 and Sparky in 77. And they produced an annual collection book, the Topper book. And this is the one Topper book for 1990, right at that last year. And I was looking, and no, it wasn't this one. And of course, it is more of the same. And done the same way. Except this is an annual hardcover book. And here it has a gag on the front and back. The main characters competing in a contest for first prize for ugly face competitions. I'm taking a picture of them. But then we see on the back cover the payoff, when none of the people actually in the competition win. It's the photographer because he has the goofiest face. Okay, some funny stuff. There's some funny stuff. Just take a little look in here. And this is I think is it all? Yeah, this is all color for the annual. There's a fun start race. All the characters taking off the race. An inside back cover at the finish line. All of us are first because everyone's a winner. I'm talking about the Topper. And this is £3.10. Topper book, 1990. You see Ali's Baba, Tricky Dick, some kind of horror. Pete Pike and his brilliant bike. And his bike, his little motorcycle, is alive and Barrel the Peril. I said it wrong. I read it wrong. Hungry Horace. And go Beryl. Yeah, Beryl is a British name. Here she is, right up my wife's alley because she's trying to fly. she did stuff like this when she was little, trying to fly. She's trying to. This is a little longer than most of the others. Trying to fly on her bike doesn't work. Another scheme doesn't work. Nothing works. Until finally her dad says, "Oh, she wants to fly. Take me to the airport, Daddy. I want to fly." So he says, instead he says, "You're such a pest. I'm going to the airport. You're staying here." And he flies away. Tricky Dick's dad. Oh. Jimmy Jinx. Square Eyes. Scratch and Squad. Funny misbehaving animals. You know, along the line of Tom and Jerry. Oh, so this has a different connotation now. Danny's Tranny, because he's got a thing that transforms things. But that has different connotations today. Early Transport, some educational stuff. Tricky Dicky, all good fun, and it has educational stuff. All Change. Oh, talking about some animals and their offspring. That's neat. Barrel to Peril again. Now, they weren't all exclusively humor comics like that, but that was the big thing I just wanted to mention briefly, is that these are some other British books, comic books that I've got, but these are not humor, but they do have humor in them. Some of them do. Here's the Hotspur book for boys from 1975, and the lead character in this is adventure stuff primarily, is the Black Sapper. And you go, the Black Sapper? What's it? And this is a character that would never fly in the U.S. comics, just because it's kind of silly. I mean, the concept. The Black Sapper has a drill machine. Makes him a superhero? I don't know. And, of course, if you don't know what a sapper is, sappers were basically part of the engineering in the army, especially in medieval times. They were the ones who used to tunnel under the walls of castles and the like to collapse the wall. Black Sapper. And it's all black and white with some color. But it had some educational stuff, deep sea fishing, but also humor. Here's Grizzly Grant, a Mountie. And this is a fun read, but the racial description, characterization is not the best. The Rust Bucket Rovers, about some shipping in the South Pacific on a humorous vein. Here's some history stories. HMS Dent, the Deadly Decoy. So it was a mixed bag. Ooh, that's a good lion attack. What was that story? Oh, the Iron Teacher. I see. Yeah, Iron Teacher. Another Iron Teacher story. Ozzy the Outlaw. Here's a Western story. See, it was just The Last of the Warriors. And that's one from 1975. And then here we have Star-Lord. Not to be confused with the Peter Quill Star-Lord. This actually, I guess it wouldn't predate. At least it probably does. Oh, and I wanted to mention the Hotspur. Yeah, well, I've got Hotspur. It's from 1970. It's a British boys story paper from D.C. Thompson Company from 33 to 1959, and then it was relaunched in 59 as a comic book and ran until 1981 with 1,110 issues until being incorporated into Victor in 81. Victor was another comic they told picture stories of mostly action and adventure stories, as well as some humor. So that is Hotspur. Then we go to the Star-Lord. Now this is a Fleetway publication. This is from 2000 AD. Lovely. Now both of them have painted covers. And same on the front and back. This is where we get, Strontium Dog. That may be familiar from, I think it's heavy metal, I think. Distinct and different style. This is almost exclusively science fiction and adventure, but they have, it's not all comics. There's some prose stories as well. The Metal Men, I think I may have done one on the Metal Men, I'm not sure, or was I was just thinking about it, I don't remember. Time Quake, so some time travel, the dinosaurs, with stuff. Here's real science education. Here's about the planets, and mostly complete, way out of date now. Peril at the Center of the Earth, and more Strontium Dog. And that's some good stuff. Yeah, and then I finish this up with Lion Annual, which I did an episode on. I'm not even going to go from 1958. Good painter, all science fiction adventure. Now, there I also have a 2 or 3 volumes of Tarzan, which I have shown before in context with some of my Tarzan stuff. But they featured the comic stories in there were reprints from American comics and comic strips. And but they do have original prose short story adventure stories of Tarzan in those books. So that's what I've got to show you this time with some British comics and humor. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, that's why this one took a lot longer than what I usually do. Please like, share, and subscribe, and do leave your comments, because these are hard to come by in this country. But it's a lot of fun. Tell me what you think of the British comics. These kind of titles, these characters, what have you. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.